Spendthrift Farm Stallions. First 2-year-olds on the track by Golden Sense, Cross Traffic, It's My Lucky Day, Can the Man, and Shaking It Up, including Golden Sense's stakes winner Pickett, a dominant 9-length winner in the $75,000 DS Shine Young Futurity at Evangeline. Spendthrift, the Breeder's Farm.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a peek at Sunday's Spa Baby race. We're kicking off the Pick 6 with race number 5, and Spendthrift Stallions very well representative. Their stallion Into Mischief has the 1, Marina View, has the 5, Into the South, and Into Mischief's son, Golden Sense, who also stands at Spendthrift, is the sire of the number 2, Malibu Mischief. It's a fun way to kick off the Pick 6. There is one big pedigreed horse that we're going to get to in a little bit, Nicole, but let's take the field in post-position order, beginning with one of the Spendthrift sired runners, the number 1, Marina View. This one by Into Mischief, and this one is a half to a stakes-winning dirt router named Third Day, but Third Day did win his career debut at 2, sprinting on the dirt.
Yeah, and you know, the dam also liked to go longer, a stakes-winning turf router, but she won her debut sprinting at 2 as well on synthetic. Inside post here for a first-time starter who has a decent work tab, certainly the ability to win early on both sides of the family. Into Mischief, one of the nation's leading juvenile sires. I just do wonder if this is a horse who is going to want to go a little bit longer in the future.
That's a good point, but it is a sneaky good pedigree, and you know this horse is going to be a price because of the low-profile connections. Perhaps we can sneak Marina View underneath in single-race exotics. The number 2 is Malibu Mischief by Into Mischief's son, Golden Sense. First crop of Golden Sense. We're going to take a look at this one's debut. Now, Gary Contessa dropped this one in for 50, and she showed good speed over a sealed muddy track. She made the lead, and she was run down late by a sharp favored horse in Cross Dreamer. I thought all in all, this was a very professional, solid debut, and Contessa is showing confidence, hiking her up into the maiden special weight ranks.
Oh, definitely, and I think with good reason. As you mentioned, she was run down by a horse who figured in the spot, very professional down the lane, straight as an arrow there. The first crop of Golden Sense, who in the mold of his sire Into Mischief and the rest of the sire line is really an outstanding sire of juveniles with his first crop this year. He currently leads the freshman earnings list in a very deep group. He's got 7 winners to date, tied for the lead in that group, and he's got a couple of stakes horses already. Golden Sense showing all the signs that he's going to continue on in the mold of his sire Into Mischief for Spendthrift.
And we see, as we see from the pedigree card from Malibu Mischief, this is a true Spendthrift family. The broodmare sire is Malibu Moon. Golden Sense was really a true blue miler, and they say milers make the best stallions. Maybe Golden Sense, who is off to a great start, is going to be a next top stallion. I wonder if this horse will appreciate a little bit more distance, although when you saw her on the track, she's kind of tiny, she's kind of compact, she's built like a sprinter, and I would expect her to show some speed in this spot, and again, experience always counts. The number 3 is Angelia. This is a daughter of Curlin, going out for the great Todd Pletcher. Curlin wins 10% with 2-year-old first-time starters, perhaps more known as a stamina influence, and while the dam won sprinting, she was best known going long, a stakes place dirt router. Do you think Angelia will want a little bit more distance? She is an early foal, which could be an advantage.
You know, I do think that she's the one who's going to want a little bit more distance. As you mentioned, Curlin's such a stamina source. I do usually like them going longer. That being said, he can get you a good 2-year-old. You look at, say, you know, Good Magic last year, although he's certainly improved when the distances got longer. This one is going out for Pletcher with John Velasquez aboard. You know, you can't ignore that in a 2-year-old race at Saratoga. But yeah, overall, I look at Curlin, I look at the female family, and I do think that this one will want some more distance.
The number 4, Vamba, has an extremely strong pedigree. She is by Candy Ride, who wins with a solid 14% with 2-year-old first-time starters. But the second dam, Cash Run, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. The third dam was a Grade 1 stakes winner. This is the family of the good Grade 1 winning sprinter Forestry, who I believe won the King's Bishop at Saratoga. There's a lot of class in this pedigree, and I think you always have to respect anything trainer Al Stahl puts on the track.
I think so, and you know, this one looks to be training really well for Stahl, coming off a good 4 furlong work here at Saratoga on the 20th. As you just went through, such a classy family and such a fast family.
The number 5 is Into the South, this one by Spendthrift Stallion Into Mischief. She is the most experienced runner in the race with 2 starts under her belt, including this local effort at Saratoga earlier in the meet. Now, she was part of a 4-ply pace battle early. She's making the front right now, and she's going to be run down in the stretch by the favorite, Love My Honey. As you see, she's a little filly. Love My Honey towers over her, but I like how game this filly was in the stretch to finish second. It does seem like she's improving from start to start, and I think she'll be forwardly placed in here. Now, there are some very promising first-time starters in this race, but you know me, I prefer the experienced ones.
Yeah, and particularly when you look at this one's experience, I do think that she's going to continue to move forward. Her first start down at Churchill, she was green, swerved out late, kicked on gamely, disqualified from second down to 8th. Her second start, she was bumped at the start, and as we just saw, she was in tight late down at the rail there, and didn't cave. I think there's a lot to like about the experiences she's had so far, and another one by Into Mischief, who, of course, as we continue to reference, among the nation's leading juvenile sires.
And not only by Into Mischief, plenty of class and black type on the bottom of this pedigree, a half to a multiple stakes place synthetic 2-year-old, the dam a half to a couple of black type earners as well. We're hoping for a little bit more improvement in stamina from Into the South, but she should show speed and should be right there when the field turns into the stretch. The number 6 is Weedle, a $350,000 yearling and a full sister to the multiple stakes winner Party Boat. Now, Party Boat is best known for her exploits on turf, but she did win an off-the-turf stakes race at Gulfstream Park, and this dam is a full sister to Unbridled Express, who placed in the Hopeful.
Yeah, placed in the Grade 1 Hopeful here as a 2-year-old at Saratoga. Flatter can get you a good filly and a quick horse. This one trained by Rudy Brissett, who, has gone out on his own over the last calendar year after being a longtime assistant to Bill Ma. He's a real horseman. I really believe he's going to be able to develop a good horse, and this one shows a bullet work last out.
Rudy Brissett has already had a good year with Quip, winner of the Tampa Bay Derby. This horse has been working in company with an unraced 2-year-old trained by Brissett named Positive Spirit. If Weedle runs well, maybe keep an eye out for Positive Spirit down the road. The 7 is Carolina Beach. This is a filly by Bernardini, a bargain Bernardini, a $30,000 yearling. But this is a classy family. Not only was the dam a stakes-winning dirt sprinter and a full sister to Battle One, who I believe won the Grade 2 Churchill Downs Stakes sprinting, but she's a half-sister to Imperative, a millionaire by Bernardini. We know the cross works.
Yeah, the cross definitely works, and Imperative's such a hard-knocking horse. I've got to admit that Bernardini surprised me a little bit as a sire. Not that he's good, but the way he did it. His freshman year, a couple years back, he came out swinging with some grade in Group 1 performing 2-year-olds. I really expected his horses to develop later on and at longer distances, which they've certainly done. He's got a pair of Traverse winners on his resume, but he can get a good 2-year-old, which really surprised me for a horse who was a late developer himself. And this one, Carolina Beach, goes out for Horatio De Paz, who's very good with his 2-year-olds.
Perfect segue into our formulator fact. Here's De Paz over the past 3 years with 2-year-old first-time starters in maiden special weight dirt sprints. That's 26% winners and a $2.37 return on investment. Completing the field is the number 8 Enliven, and this is just a wonderful, wonderful pedigree. She's a daughter of Go Sapper. She's a half-sister to the 2-year-old graded stakes-winning dirt router Enticed, who also won the career debut at 2. The dam, It's Tricky, was just a wonderful horse, a multiple Grade 1 stakes winner. The second dam, a Grade 3 stakes winner. This is a Godolphin homebred going out for Kieran McLaughlin, who's having a tremendous meet, can win with a first-time starter, and something tells me if this filly is ready to go with this pedigree, she should run very well.
Yeah, I mean, what a pedigree. Enliven, unfortunately, one of just a few foals that we'll see on the track out of It's Tricky, who died early in her broodmare career after producing just a few foals. But It's Tricky, as you referenced, just just such a good race filly, ran against a group that included the likes of Royal Delta, Plum Pretty, a very tough group of fillies, and was right there every time. Ran, better known for her route exploits, but ran really well at, say, like the one-turn mile. She did have some speed and a good turn of foot. Enticed, as you mentioned, 2-year-old debut winner, ran well in the Aqueduct 2-year-old series late last year, was a player in the Derby Trail early this spring. McLaughlin sent out one of the more impressive 2-year-old winners at this Saratoga meet. I do think Enliven is going to want a bit more distance, perhaps that mile middle distance. Maybe this will be a horse for that Aqueduct series later in the year. But that being said, what a classy looking horse, and could wind up being a nice thing out of this maiden, even if she doesn't win on Sunday.
I agree. She might have just found the right spot, even though I agree with you. She might want a little bit more distance down the road. But it's pick time. We kick off the pick six on Sunday. The calm after the Travers Day storm. Who do you like?
I am going to take a swing down toward the inside, I think, with Malibu Mischief, who should show some speed. This one by freshman sire Golden Sense, who, as we mentioned, so good. Contessa taking a step up from the maiden claiming into the maiden special weight, but was so professional on debut. And this looks like such a wide open field that I think you might get some nice value on her there. Of the two, buy into Mischief. I do prefer Into the South with those kind of, learning race experiences that we talked about. And, I am going to watch very closely Enliven. As I said, I think she's going to want something a little bit different down the road. But again, this is such a wide open field that class might carry the day.
Well, you have to be impressed with the pedigrees of Enliven and Vamba and Weedle. I am going to go with the experience. The 5 Into the South has 2 starts. She's been second both times. And I think if she improves a little bit, she can get it done in the 6 furlongs to kick off the pick six on Sunday. It's race number 5. It's our Spa Baby race for Sunday, and our coverage is presented by Spendthrift Farm.